This is my interview with my grandpa. However, when we were taping it, there are some technical difficulties with the tape. So the first question is cut off, and the interview picks up in the middle of my first question. And by the time we rewatched it and actually looked at it and realized it, my grandpa couldn't do it again. So, however, I have his first question and the first answer. The question one was, Grandpa, in the 1940s you were living in Burlington, New Jersey, and there were two baseball teams in Philadelphia, the Athletics and the Phillies. Your mother was a huge fan of sports, especially baseball. The Athletics used to play in Shibe Stadium, and the Phillies played at Veterans Stadium. Some historical moments for the two teams were in 1945 when Athletics pitcher Dick Fowler pitched a no-hitter, and in 1943 when the Phillies left outfielder became the first outfielder to play a perfect season. What do you remember about these two teams? What do you remember about sports at all in the 1940s? And what do you think of sports today, and how do they compare to the sports in the 1940s? My grandpa's answer was that his mom was really interested in baseball and sports. She was much more interested in him, and he didn't really pay attention to all the sports in the 1940s. He was much more interested in fishing and other things like hanging out with his friends. And he didn't really pay attention much later until he married my grandma pretty much. As for sports today, he feels that players are almost spoiled and that players back then were much more better all-around players. As for question two, it was also cut off a little bit. So question two is right here. Okay. Question two. Grandpa, in 1944 you were 14 living in Burlington, New Jersey. The Fox Theater, which was in Burlington, was set on fire and burnt to the ground. The movie that was being shown was Kansas City Kitty, starring Joan Davies. It was a musical about a piano teacher who buys a publishing company and finds that a lawsuit is included. What do you remember about this theater? What do you remember about movies at all? What other activities did you do for entertainment? My grandpa's answer is on the tape, so here's the tape.
Sneak into. I didn't sneak into it, but my friends did. I'll tell you, I was too chicken.
Really?
Really? Because they had a window that went through the cellar, the boiler room.
You used to go in there all the time?
And not me, I'm telling you, I never did it. I was afraid. I didn't want to get caught.
What do you remember about, like, the movies at all? Like,
the movie itself?
Or any of the movies that were shown?
Well, we used to go as kids for like 15 cents. We could get 10 cents for the movie and buy a great big bag of pretzels for a nickel and spend all afternoon there.
Oh yeah, because you could just stay there every time.
And we'd see the cartoons twice.
Oh yeah. What other activities did you do for entertainment when you were younger?
When I was a teenager?
Yeah.
You mean other than chase the girls? No, we used to dance. We used to, I was in a bugle corps I told you about. We had parties, just not boy-girl parties, that type of thing. But you know, we'd meet and we'd go to dances. I was in a play.
You were? What'd you say?
Pardon?
What'd you do in the play?
I wasn't the main character, but I was like, just a member of the cast. Had one line, and it's been a long time ago. I can't even remember the line, but that's what I did. A lot of fun, really.
Oh yeah, didn't you
Sometimes too much fun.
Didn't you say that guy chased you?
What's that?
That.
Oh yeah, you mean the girl's boyfriend? Oh yeah. He thought I was messing around with her, flirting with her. No way, I didn't. I thought she was a little flitty.
Okay, question number 3. In 1954, you were 23, going on 24, and living in Burlington, New Jersey. You just gotten out of the Navy, and you got your first car in 1950, Plymouth sedan, right? And these cars came out first in 1929, and then it was a big car. And What do you remember about your first car?
First car was a good car, but in those days, Plymouths were famous for if it rained or got real wet, they wouldn't start because the spark plugs were exposed.
Oh, that would stink.
So every time it rained, when your grandmother and I got married, we were living in an apartment. If it was wet, I'd park the car away from the rest of the car. So she would get in and I'd push it a little bit and it would start right away.
That's a good idea. How long did you have it for?
So we had our crash just before Michael, your Uncle Michael was born.
When was that, like 1956?
56.
Do you remember any of your other cars?
You mean up until now?
Or any of your favorite cars?
Favorite cars are sitting out there right now. Well, we had the family. We had a Volkswagen bus.
Wasn't that really big?
No, it was regular. You've seen them around, these buses.
Somebody's trying to hear what you're saying in here.
And
Hello.
we got the camera on. She just saw it behind me.
Okay.
We had
Yeah, you
I
can
was
hear
saying
what
we had
he's saying.
a big yellow bus for the 12 of us. We took camping to Mexico.
He's laughing at what you're saying.
That was in 72, I think.
I was like 10.
Oh, that's all.
Okay. In 1940, you were 9 years old, going on 10, living in Burlington, New Jersey. In 1940, the first McDonald's came out. It was built by Richard and Maurice McDonald in Arcata, California, and then later moved to San Bernardino, California. Do you remember the first McDonald's, like when they first came out?
No, it was a West Coast thing, I think.
When did it like finally come over here? Do you remember like?
No, we had the Stewart's root beer right down the road here. That was a big thing when we were young. This was, when was McDonald's?
It came out in 1940. That's when they first.
No, I didn't know anything about it until the 50s, after I got out of service.
That's when it first like came over here.
Yeah. In fact, I think Kroc was the one that bought it from those people. I think it's KROC.
Yeah.
He was the one that bought it from him, and he expanded it, I think.
And then like came over here. What do you remember like eating when you were younger? Like, what types of food? Because I remember you told me like the fish that you used to get.
We used to eat the fish out of the river. We used to have shad roe.
What exactly is that?
It's roe. You know what roe is, don't you? Well, fish have eggs. The fish eggs, really.
Oh, so they were like caviar kind of?
Well, caviar is sturgeon roe.
So it's like certain fish's eggs?
Yeah, well,
Oh.
yeah, and this,
Oh, so you had cad eggs.
because the shad,
Shad.
they're going to be coming up the river soon. You used to get them about this long, about that thick, and my mother would fry them.
Do you like them?
Yeah, well, you liked them, but you couldn't eat. I mean, it was something like a side dish. We had made oyster stews and chowders and
I never had
pretty good stuff. But you're finicky like your mother is. Maybe even worse.
Okay, question 5. From 1950 to 1954, you were in the Navy. You were stationed in both Corpus Christi and Kingsville, Texas. In June of 1950, the U.S. troops entered the Korean War, and by July 23, 1953, the Korean War had ended. Did you ever go into battle?
No, I was on the Atlantic Fleet over in the Mediterranean.
So you just were like
The Atlantic.
stationed there?
No.
Did you ever travel to like other areas other than your?
Well, yeah, I went to Italy, Switzerland, Switzerland, Haiti, Cuba. You don't want to go to those places today.
What do you remember about the ships you were stationed on and about your naval station?
My ship,
Yeah, what was it called?
USS Randolph, CVA-15, 44,000 ton, 800 feet. How's that?
Wow. You remember a lot. Wow. Were you like, where your, Andrew? Go. Like, did you have like any friends in the Navy that you still know?
No, not. My friends were from, one was from Western Pennsylvania, the other was from Tennessee. Hey, he's got that, we're recording.
The sound's off.
Tennessee, Texas. We went to Corpus Christi in '72 to see my friend.
Sorry about that. The battery died. Okay. Okay, question 6. In 1954, you just gotten out of the Navy and you started working at a chemical company called Hercules. Hercules made the basic source of Dapton, which is a synthetic polyester fiber that is wrinkle resistant and strong. Hercules also made resins for other companies.
Resins.
What was your job at Hercules?
It's a chemical operator. They're processes. In other words, there were stills and things like that. And individuals ran each one of these processes.
And you ran one of them?
And I ran them.
What do you remember about like the different machines that they used?
The centrifuges that were almost as round as this room.
Whoa.
And about 6 or 8 foot wide. That was for our final product, or stages of distillation, and then they would, the final product was centrifuged out. It would go on the top of the screen like a cake. Then it was scraped off, go down into a hopper, and then it was melted and went out. Then they would pelletize it, make pellets, little pellets. Then when they sent it to a company, the company would melt that down and extrude it and do whatever they did with it.
Do you remember if there were like any problems that would cause the factory to be like dangerous to work in?
Say again?
What cause like in factories, there like chemical companies, there can be like problems that make it dangerous. Were there
Heat,
that
heat for one thing. All of our lines, all of our production lines, pipes, if you will, they had to be kept extremely hot because this material would freeze at 140 degrees centigrade.
Whoa.
You know what freeze means, right?
Like,
It means it goes from liquid to a crystal.
wow, so you have to keep it really hot.
So it had to stay very, very hot. So the heat was part of it.
So it would be really hot.
Right. And you had to be careful of pumps and things like that. That, you know, you didn't get your hands caught in. Safety, really. It's a general thing.
In 1945, you were my age, 14, and you were living in Burlington, New Jersey. In 1944, many things happened, including D-Day on June 6th, the Daily Mail becoming the first transoceanic newspaper. On August 4th, the Gestapo found Anne Frank and her family, and the radio show The Adventure of Ozzie and Harriet debuted. If you could go back in time to your 14-year-old self, what would you like to tell them? Like, would you give them anything? Warnings? What to do?
No.
You want to keep your life the way it is?
Yeah. I'll tell you, if you change one thing, right? Like say I went to school and became educated, okay? Then that changed. I wouldn't have met your grandmother,
Oh, yeah.
right?
So you wouldn't want to change anything?
No. I like myself, I wish I'd have gone to school, but that's the only thing changed.
Yeah.
Because we've had a good ride. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Grandpa.
Do I get to look at that?
Yeah, you can look at it.
Can I hear it?
Doing the interview and taking me on the tour. So.
My turn?
Yeah.
Adios, Kimosabi.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, is that a friend of mine is going to Pentech? Is that right, Pentech? You ever seen her?
Well, when I was growing up, and you even mentioned a boy's name, I was one of 6 girls. You even mentioned the boy's name right away.
Oh, yeah.
And finally, when I
We had 4 minutes, guys didn't get yours. Keep away from that stuff. You can get in jail. Still enough light yet, we'll go out to Springfield. Don't even start that. Joe's ready. When we went on our golf excursion down to Maryland, the group. So we all go into this restaurant, and they had you get you out of that church and drive you for the rest of the day. Fantastic. They're right. They tell you that the bird is made. The only thing is, I didn't realize how bad the golf ball was.
Computers inside the guy. No matter where you stop, it tells you how far it is to your next.
for the rest of the day.
He said his brother played drum point. He says his brother says the best course in Canada. That's why he played it.
Sure.
Nice course, but
We got the 3 courses we went to. Right?
I'm saying it's 3 different players.
And did you play this week?
You want to, sure.
No, I can't play this week. Did you play last week?
Yeah, I played Thursday. I played down now.
I know, Bob.
You beat the hell out of him. You beat the hell out of him.
Well, 1:30 would be the better way.
Have an answer for that?
Was it the first time we went there or second time?
Oh, I know. My foot doesn't itch anymore.
They say it. She died, they still stayed in. Then when my cousin died, she had all these pictures. So I look like an athlete.
Huh?
That's probably the last
Too bad it never pinned out.
last athletic thing I was ever able to do. In fact, am I holding football right? Too much of it though.
Really?
And I'm the one that claps for people who get emotional. And it bugs